Hey everybody, understanding annuities this month. We're going to break down all the different types of annuities and what they are. And I understand there's a stigma. I also understand there's a huge amount of misunderstanding of what annuities are. They're just an investment, right? But they're an investment. You can go to a dinner seminar and get a free steak and an annuity. So let's break these down. Let's try to figure out when they're useful, when they're not useful, instead of just selling them to everybody. I'm always that person that's saying there's nothing wrong with annuities at all, as long as they come with a plan. If there's a purpose for them in your portfolio, if they're being used properly, annuities can be very powerful, wonderful investment tool. Okay, so this week I'm going to talk about deferred income annuities, because these are the most common sold products in dinner seminars. And I'll be real honest, the only reason I'm not a fan of these is because they're being sold to everybody regardless of your needs. These are the ones that absolutely need a plan with them. But I also recognize that some people really do need these and they need to use them properly. So let's talk about what these are. There's two different types of deferred income annuities, okay? So when we talk about deferred income annuities, that's really the concept of building a pension for yourself, right? So you don't need income now, but you want to stock away money that is building an income benefit. So later in life, you can trigger that income and turn it into a pension, a payment to you for the rest of your life. There is huge benefits to this when used properly. Okay, I'm always that person that's going to tell you, you need enough guaranteed income to pay your base living expenses. So if your Social Security and maybe a company pension or a government pension pays your base living expenses, you have no need for this stuff. But if you're going to go into retirement with a little bit of Social Security and you know that's not going to pay your full base living expenses, then yes, you want to take this stuff into consideration. So let's start with the first kind, variable annuities. And I'm going to put these side by side, okay? A variable annuity, you're paying an insurance company for benefits. Most likely you have a form of an income benefit tied to this while you're investing in the stock market, okay? This is a mutual fund portfolio housed by an insurance company that charges a fee to guarantee that future income, okay? So I want you to think through that. We have the mutual fund companies charging you management fees for those mutual funds, okay? You have an insurance company charging you fees, right? And you also have some form of an advisor that's getting paid as well, because they have to be properly licensed to write these things. So somebody got paid something, okay? And if that advisor has a company, that company wants a cut too. So there's a lot of people's hands in here trying to pull their fees out. And that's why I tell people, anybody that buys a variable annuity, we've got to know what the benefit is and how it's going to be used to your advantage. Because if you're going to pay all those fees, I want to make sure we're going to make the most of this investment, okay? The only annuity that allows you to invest the money directly in the market. So when this is any type of variable annuity, you will have risk to your principal. If the market's going up and down, the cash value of your money is going up and down, okay? It allows the owner, you, the investor, to choose from a variety of mutual funds, okay? This is where the risk is. You are actually investing in the stock market with a few extra layers of fees for benefits. Again, that's why you want to focus in on what the benefits are. The national average in fees is 3%. You don't even see those, because every time I say that, inevitably someone comes and shows me their variable annuity and says, there's no way I have anywhere near 3%. That's hogwash. And then I open up the little booklet that you got that is your contract and show you the 7 or 8 pages of fees that are hidden in there, okay? Things like withdrawals will cause fees. Things like changing from one mutual fund to another mutual fund will cause fees, okay? The mutual funds fees are on there that are not showing up on your statement. A lot of the times you'll see mutual funds and they're charging over a full % in fees, okay? There's some very stripped down versions with no extra benefits that are used just for tax deferral, but those are far and few between and usually not used properly anyways. So you've got fees in here, whether you see them on your statement or not, okay? So we have to have the right licensing. So they have to be insurance license and Series 63 or 6, one of the securities licensing that allows commissions, okay? The 65 does not allow the commission. So this would be a fee structure that you would be in that case. So the reality is there's nothing wrong with variable annuities when they're used properly, but understand, don't invest in a variable annuity and expect just to sit there and grow with the market, because you've got all those fees coming out. So be careful about that and know exactly what the benefits are that you're going to receive. Next slide, I'm going to go through typically how the variable annuity will guarantee that income benefit, okay? So, but on the other side, there is a fixed version of this variable annuity that has an income benefit, okay? So this version is not going to have the risk of the stock market. You're handing money to an insurance company. They're agreeing to pay you interest and provide this income benefit, okay? So this is the fixed, no risk version of the variable annuity. Your money is not invested in the market. The insurance company gets to invest it however they want. They draw up the contract and say what kind of interest they have to pay you. This is an insurance company contract, right? Everything's laid out in black and white. A lot of people don't like the contracts because they're nice and thick, but most of it is just regulatory stuff they have to go through. There's usually 1 or 2 pages that spell everything out in black and white. This is the dinner seminar gimmicks, though. This is where the shiny bells and whistles hide the truth from you, and that's where you got to be careful. It's the slick salesmen that are going through trying to sell a product to anybody, and this is why the word annuity gets a bad name, okay? Have you heard of the 7% guaranteed growth, 10%? I've even seen 14% guaranteed growth. I've seen bonuses hitting 25, 30%. Bonuses immediately upon a deposit, you grow 30%. That's flashy, wonderful stuff that makes you stop looking and saying, that's the greatest thing ever. Give me, here's my money, take it, please. But that's where we've got to look in further and be careful, okay? So let's kind of look at how these things work. A variable annuity is very interesting and compelling, okay? So this is the interesting part. Think of a variable annuity as a mutual fund portfolio, okay? The green here represents the value of the cash that you invested, okay? So I started in the mid-90s here because the market went straight up. So you see this big mountain we created. That's because you put the money in and the stock market just started skyrocketing. Took 100,000 all the way to somewhere around $280,000, okay? Fast, furious ride straight up in the late 90s. It was wonderful. But then 9/11 happened. So your cash value went down because the mutual funds all went down as well. And then it grew back up to 2008 and fell apart in 2008 and then started growing again. No different than investing in the stock market, but remember all those fees that are coming out. So you're going to underperform a regular mutual fund portfolio because you have extra fees here, right? Okay. Now, the magical part about this is their guarantees. The insurance company is taking a fee from you, so they're going to add some fun stuff to this. Okay, so the insurance company is going to say, well, hey, look, worst case scenario, I'm going to guarantee 5% growth at minimum, right? So if the stock market's down, don't worry, you have guarantee a minimum 5% growth. And you can see after 2008, that actually came in and became important, okay? So that's nice. How many people would love to invest in the stock market with a minimum growth of 5%? That sounds really good. I think I'm okay paying the fees just because of that. That's wonderful, right? Okay, well, but then there's more, you know. We've got to add even more benefits to this. I'm going to lock in the high water mark. Some do it quarterly, some do it daily, some do it, you know, every other month. Everybody gets to choose, but it's in your contract when they lock in the high water mark, meaning the highest the portfolio gets, they lock that in. So that rocket from mid-90s to 2000, we got to lock in that high water mark. Now the value is never going to be less than that. Well, why would we invest in anything ever again if this was real, right? That's the only way we would ever invest. They're going to lock in the highest my portfolio ever gets. Is there any reason I would ever invest in anything ever again? I'm only investing in this. They're guaranteeing the world to me. So we got to know that, there's got to be something going on here. Okay. So this one locked in the high water mark. Okay. That's the important part that we understand now. So now we've got $283,000 that the value of this account was. Okay. I'm going to show you now what the fixed annuity does and explain what is what here. Okay. So let's think about the fixed annuity as an accumulation, real cash value, and an income account. Okay. This is real money. This is fictitious, no one's money. Okay. This is real money. This is hogwash. This is magic. This is meaningless gobbledygook. Okay, so one side of the chart, you see it's your money. Accumulation account is usually the words they use for this. This is your accumulation value. This is the real cash value of your account. And then there's the magical account that I have labeled income account. Some of them call it benefit accounts, benefit amount. Honestly, there shouldn't be a dollar sign on there because it's not money. It is not money at all. No one gets this dollar amount. It's just a magical account, not an income account, not a dollar amount. It's just magical numbers. That's it. Okay. So on the fixed version of these deferred income annuities, they usually glamorize you with a big bonus and then guaranteed growth. So instead of 5% minimum, this example is an 8% bonus and 7% guaranteed growth. They're not locking in a high water mark of the stock market because they're just going to guarantee you that bonus and that growth. So you can see on this income account, 100,000 turned into 115 because you got an 8% bonus and 7% growth. And then from there, every year it grew by 7%. They're guaranteeing that growth. Well, on the variable annuity, that's that minimum 5% growth or locking in the high water mark of the stock market, right? So that's the magical number, but the real money, your actual cash value, is over here. And on the fixed side, you shouldn't expect to earn much more than 1 to 3% because look, you might earn 4 or 5%, but they're going to have it probably around 1% in fees in there. Okay. So your real cash value is safe, but it's not really going to grow much. Whereas the variable annuity, the real cash value is invested in mutual funds with all those fees. So good or bad, if the market goes straight up, great. If it crashes, you can lose money in here. Okay. So the real cash value is based on the value of the investments in the mutual funds minus the fees. The magical minimum 5% doesn't apply to your cash value. Locking in the high water doesn't apply to your cash value. It only applies to the magical income account, benefit account numbers. Okay? So what can you do with these two sides of this ledger here? Okay? Well, the real money, the cash value is there. If you pass away, your heirs will get it. If you just wake up and need some money and you want to withdraw some money, you can pull it from here. They usually restrict you to about 10% access a year. And then if you want to cash the entire thing out after surrender charges, or if you want to pay penalties, then your cash value is derived from your actual account value. Okay? The only time you will use this income account because they locked in the high water mark, or you got an 8% bonus and 7% guaranteed growth, the only time you're ever going to use that magical number is if you're going to trigger a lifetime of income. That's it. That's the only way you'll ever use that. And honestly, they're going to make the calculation from that number and poof, all that stuff disappears and they start pulling from your money, your real money, and they hand it back to you one payment at a time. The only way you're going to win is if you outlive that. and your account goes to zero and they have to keep paying you. That's where your profits begin. So somewhere in your late 80s, early 90s, you're going to make that break-even point and you're going to start winning. You throw a party and say, this turned into a decent investment. All right. So let's further this, because just because we have a cash or this magical account value doesn't mean we know how they calculate income, right? $100,000 goes into these. So you got a fixed income rider and you've got a variable income rider. Okay. And you can see the values over the years. Fixed income rider gave you that bonus and then 7% guaranteed growth. The variable income rider, remember that market skyrocketed and it locked in the high water mark at $283,000. So let's just say I went to trigger income at 70. And we look at these two and say, well, $283,000 in the variable is better than $260,000 in the fixed. So let's just trigger the variable annuity first, right? Well, $283,000 doesn't tell me what my income is. I just know that it's bigger than $260,000. That doesn't mean anything. So this is why they have these contracts, because in the contract, it will lay out exactly how they calculate that payment. And typically what you will find is a chart with ages and a withdrawal percentage. And what you will see on here is that the variable annuity at 70 years old, it says 5%. Every contract's going to be different, but this one says 5%. 5% of $283,000 is $1,181 a month. So with a $100,000 investment, I bought a pension and it's going to pay me $1,181 a month for the rest of my life, no matter how long I live. Used properly, that's a great benefit. If I need that to pay bills for my base living expenses, I think that's a great idea. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't put all your money in these things. Put enough to have enough guaranteed income to pay base living expenses in retirement. But here's the thing. The fixed annuity version, the $260,000, has a higher payout. And this is universal. All variable annuity contracts compared to the same time period fixed annuity contracts. If we're looking at the market today, yesterday, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years from now, whenever, if you compare them side by side, the fixed contracts are always going to have a higher percentage payout. Okay, there's a very logical reason why. Because actuaries, math geeks, create these contracts. They've worked all this math out. They've based it on how long the average person lives. Sometimes the insurance company is going to win. Sometimes they're going to lose. They've got it all balanced out by statistics. Okay, but here's the thing. These actuaries know exactly how this fixed annuity rider is going to grow. They know that in 2007, for instance, at 70 years old in this example, it is going to be worth $260,000. And they know exactly what 6% of $260,000 is. And they know exactly how long the average person lives. And they know exactly the dollars on everything. The variable annuity drives them nuts. They have no idea what that benefit value is going to be. They have no idea whether it's going to be 283, 600,000, 93. They have no idea what the value of the variable income rider will be. So they mitigate that risk by lowering the payout percentage. It's very logical and very simple. So now 6% of 260,000 is $1,300 a month, right? And most of these contracts will double in case of long-term care. Okay, now there's a bunch of fine print on those doublings, and there's a company out there that triples, but their single payout rate was only like 3%. So triple 3 is 9, double 6 is 12, which is better. So shows you those fancy bells and whistles that are hiding the truth. Tripling for long-term care, that's got to be better. No. Double a bigger number is better than triple a small number. So be careful about those fancy bells and whistles, that anybody that's saying, well, yeah, but this one grows at 8%, that one grows at 7%. Well, no, we got to know the payout percentages too. So that's what you want to figure out on these income annuities. How do they grow? How does the magical income account grow? And what are the payout percentages? Those are the two things you compare. And a good financial planner is going to kind of pencil together a plan that says, okay, you're 55 now, and we're going to plan on triggering this somewhere around 65. So let's find the one that's going to give you the best growth for the most likely scenario. Now, maybe you trigger at 64. Maybe you wait till 70. Maybe you didn't end up needing it and you want to take the cash value instead. But the idea is to have a plan and pencil out how you're going to use this, how this fits into your situation. And I'm a big fan of these because pretty soon, most retirees will not have pensions. Baby boomers are the last generation to really all have pensions. Not all, but a good majority have pensions, company pensions, government pensions. We see a lot more pensions for baby boomers. But the generations after the baby boomers, boy, pensions have dried up. There's very few companies out there that offer pensions, and the government pensions have been shrunk down quite a bit. So we may need these. We may need to start putting these in our financial plan so we do have more income. As a matter of fact, the 401k system, the regulations are changing so you can start putting these in your 401k because our government is starting to recognize that pensions are gone. 401ks is where everybody saves their money, and they need to give you an option to be able to create a pension within your 401k with your own money and or the contributions from your company. And that's what these are. That's exactly what these are when they're used properly. The problem is you go to a dinner seminar, at least here in Arizona, especially in Sun Lakes and Sun City, the average age of the attendee is over 70 years old. It's too late to work on guaranteed income like this. You don't need it in the future. You need it now if you need it at all, okay? So these are not what you look at if you're already in your 70s. The perfect time to look at these is in your 50s and maybe early 60s, okay? That's when you should be looking at these things. And that's when you should be creating that income plan and deciding whether you're going to need more guaranteed income. Everybody likes more income, but more than your base living expenses becomes incredibly inefficient for people. So please be careful about doing too much of this stuff. All right. Hopefully that helps. I'm going to keep doing every week a different type of annuity, talking about the different annuity options that are out there, because there are a lot of different annuities out there. That's like saying the word mutual fund. Well, there's tons of different types of mutual funds out there. There's so many different investing options, and understanding the word annuity is like saying the word stock or mutual fund or bond. It's just an investment, okay? And it comes with parameters. And the nice thing is the contract spells out exactly what they're obligated to do for you. So let us know if we can help out in any way. Shoot us an email, give us a call. I'm always happy to chat about any topics that I create videos on. And honestly, you can call me and talk about how blue the sky is today. Always happy to jump on a Zoom or meet in person and discuss your situation, or even help you understand what kind of annuities you have. I get a lot of that this time of year when I do these classes. So happy to go through and look at existing annuities and see how they fit into your situation. So give us a call, contact us in any way, share this video if you're trying to help other people understand these things as well. And if you haven't, please subscribe. We'll see you next week.